Hello, traders. Back in December 2025, last year, we created a universe of 200 stocks across 21 sectors, which we called NEXTQ200. And we got some very good, legit feedbacks, suggestions. And one of them was to add railway stocks. And I think we did that the very next month, around 7th of Jan 2026. We created a short wherein we added railways. If you have missed these two videos, I'll strongly suggest take a look at these two videos so that you understand the logic, the process in which this quality 200 stocks was created. So now what I've done is I have observed that Nifty indices have expanded and many new sectoral indices have been added. I'll walk you through in this particular video. And with that additions, it has allowed me to make some changes to our next Q200. One sector is gonna get kind of renamed. One sector is going to get split right through the center, and we're going to add another new sector to our list. So come join me as I walk you through these updates to next Q200 universe. Okay, so this is my TradingView screen, my usual Heiken-Ashi template. And on the right hand side over here, you can see this is next Q200 with all the various sectors. Now, quickly, a quick revisit that this entire process, the thought process, the logic of how we create this next Q200 essentially comes from the data that we get from this particular website, which is niftyindices.com. When you come to niftyindices.com, it is essentially a world of indices, as it rightly says here. And we are interested, you can get the same data from up here, this section, indices. And if you remember, the first place where we would like to go is sectoral indices, right? And when you click on sectoral indices, the list of sectoral indices will open up. I clearly remember that this list used to be relatively much more shorter than what it is right now. Many new such groups indices have got added. There are few additions that have been made to the thematic indices as well. Now, keeping in mind the new additions, what are the changes that we have made to next Q200? Now, first and foremost, let me tell you that next Q200 is now made up of 24 sectors, which is pretty good if you ask me from the point of view of diversification. Now, why do you need 24 sectors? Why can't we deal with 10 or 12 or 5? That's the key answer is that of the big D, which is do you want a diversified portfolio or not? And those who will say yes, the logic of that is you must have noticed that various sectors, unlike it's a emphatic bull market, various sectors move by their turns. When the PSU banks were moving, private banks were relatively quiet. And now the private banks are going up and PSU banks are coming down. And this does not happen all the time. Maybe the defense are going up, but the IT are down. The IT are still trying to bounce back, but the internet stocks have gone up. And so we have noticed time and again, irrespective of whether we are in a bull market or a bear market, we do see certain degree of outperformance from a selected group of stocks. And during that time, there may be some underperformance from the other sector and their constituent stocks. And so having your finger dipped, or in other words, having some allocation to multiple sectors is not a bad idea. You don't want to be thinned too much. You don't want to have, put in fingers in 50 different sectors. That will be too thin. And so around, I think 20s is a good number. We started with 21 and now we have 24 sectors. So what are the new changes that we are making in this particular video? First, I'll tell you that earlier we had IT. We still have IT. The major IT 10 stocks, they remain. And with IT, we had something called digital X IT. Essentially, we were tracking the non-IT digital stocks. One problem was, if you remember, we came here and we went to Nifty India Digital. Remember this place? And if you click on it, Nifty India Digital, it will talk about the sector. And our key concern, the key data that we want is from here, which is the fact sheet. If I click on the fact sheet, you will see that we got the top 10 constituents. Now, the top 10 constituents of the digital essentially was a combination of both internet names as well as IT names, which was okay. But recently, what has happened is we have a dedicated index which is called Nifty India Internet. This one is a new kid, relatively new kid. Now, when I click on this and I go to its respective fact sheet, now I have clearly the IT names. And Nifty Internet happens to have a dedicated sectoral chart also, which means not a bad idea. I go back to my list and I bring in Internet. So now I have Eternal, Policy Bazaar, Paytm, Nykaa, Naukri, and Swiggy. I think Swiggy was not there. We have added it. And now we have 6 internet names dedicated to one exclusive pocket, and we've taken them out from the IT. So that's one addition, and we have 6 stocks under the internet, let's call it sector. Next comes REITs. Now, probably you're aware of it. Realty and realty stocks are stocks related to the real estate sector, and REITs are another avenue of investment wherein you enjoy the rental income without unnecessarily having the property by yourself. Now, if you go to the Nifty sectoral indices, you will find here Nifty REITs and Realty. Again, this is a relatively new addition. When you click on it, it will take you to that particular page where it talks about what are REITs and realty stocks. Our interest is again in the fact sheet. And over here, I see that Brookfield, which is a Biret, Embassy, Nexus, Knowledge. In middle of that, there is DLF, and then goes Mindspace. And after that, 4 more realty stocks. So barring DLF, we have clean 5 REITs. Now, with that thought process, I come to our universe. What we earlier had were around 9 to 10 real estate names, if you remember. And so I've kept DLF, Phoenix, Lodha, Prestige, Godrej Properties, and Obera. They're all fairly good quality real estate names. So the count becomes 6 here. And right after that, we have added REITs. There you go, the 5 REITs: Biret, Embassy, Nexus, KRT, and Mindspace, Knowledge and Mindspace. So the erstwhile Realty, which was a list of around, I think, 9 or 10 stocks, I have taken from the bottom, I've taken off the 4, created space for REITs, and I've added extra 5 names under REITs. That's update or addition change number 2. By the way, before I go to change number 3, I'll tell you that you can access this NEXTQ200 watch list for free. You don't have to join or enroll anywhere. I openly share this list with everyone. You may find it useful. The link to access this watch list in your TradingView is given in the description box below. Make the most out of it. And yes, if you have any suggestions or feedback, please feel free to let me know. And with that thought, let's go to the third. Third is an addition of a new sector altogether. Now, I always wanted to have a dedicated sector section for telecom. Telecom was kind of a little scattered here and there. If you remember, digital had Bharti Airtel name in it and all that. And now you have a telecom. Now, if you go back to the Nifty indices page, and if you go to this particular section, then you'll see as you scroll down, you'll notice that there is Nifty Telecommunication. Can you see this? This one. I'm under sectoral indices. If you're new to this page, I would strongly request and suggest spend some time. There are many sectors which are under the sectoral indices, rightly so, and there are many names which are under the thematic. So look around, you will definitely find some answers that what kind of indices have what kind of constituents, or which are the best constituents in that particular theme or sector. Now I click on Nifty Telecommunications, and with that thought, I come to the fact sheet again. And when I click on the fact sheet, I have a new page wherein I will be able to see the top names: Bharti Airtel, Indus, Vodafone, Tatacom, HFCL, and then it goes down to Sterlite, Hexacom, etc. Now I have room for 5 names with a little bit of permutation combination that we have done. We have room for 5 names, and I've taken the top 5. I generally prefer to take the top 5. Now, the logic is very simple. I'll tell you the maths also. When you see this fact sheet, it's not a bad idea to start adding them up and see like 22 plus almost 22, you've got 44, you've got 61, you've got 71, you've got 80. So when I stop at HFCL, I've got 80% of the entire weightage from the top five. And I think 70 to 80%, if I get from top five, six, seven, or even three, four, depends on the sector, is pretty good. What will happen is it will give me some room. If I don't take all 10, it will give me some room to add a new sector later on, without increasing the number of stocks. There's always that headroom to increase 200 to 210, 20, 250. There's no end to it. But I sense that 200 stocks is a very good number wherein I can have a balance between the liquidity of the stock, the quality of the stock, and even from a trading point of view. Now, with those points in mind, come down to telecom over here. I've added 5 names in that telecom sector, wherein I have Bharti, Indus Tower, Idea, Tatacom, and HFCL. Now, when I added, there was an addition of 1 stock, so I had to make room for it. It was 201. It was adding up to 201. And so I always go back to those erstwhile sectors which are slightly heavier than they should be. And I found tourism to had 9 names in it. And I took out Sapphire out of it. There were 9 stocks earlier under this sector, and I've kept it to 8. I still have room to take out Shallot and Lemon Tree, but who knows, maybe later, if I feel or we feel like there is room or scope to add something new, then we can take those 2 or 3 names down. But as of now, as I conclude this video for you, NEXTQ200 now is made up of 24 sectors. We have split real estate to REITs and real estate. We have 2 names there. And we have renamed erstwhile digital to internet, and now it's a pure play. All the names are of the internet sector. And we have added a new sector, which is telecom. So there you go. It's freely available for you to access and make use of it. And as I requested, if you have any suggestions, please feel free to let me know. Till then, please take care of yourselves and trade well.